rest of the graphic novel as a whole. Using our comics terminology, analyze the formal techniques Yang uses, such as various speech bubbles, thought bubbles, and narrative boxes, panel shapes and sizes, the layout and sequencing of the panels, long shots and close-ups, color choices, and use of amanada, etc. How did these choices help convey emotion, tone, and characterization?
I said the transformation between Jin and Danny on page 194. I said that it's kind of like a turning point in the book, because this is where everything starts to go bad for him. He started to just like leave himself behind and become like a new person, and that's definitely going against what this book was trying to say, that you should just like be proud of who you are. And then also the use of Emanada, I think, was really good on this page, because it flashed back to the herbalist and the clacking calculator.
The page I chose was page 160, and I liked this panel the best because they're it's when the monk asked the Monkey King to take his shoes off. We won't be needing those. And the panel kind of pans out, and you see them walking in the same direction next to each other. And in the footprints are like identical. It's showing that we're all the same person. We might have a little bit of differences, but we're all people, and we should all be working together. And I mean, this is like when they're going on the journey together. Like, can you imagine how what society could do if we all just put the differences behind us and work towards the same goal? Like, yeah, that'd be good.
I said page 48 is my favorite. I like this page or / panel because it's very humorous. Jin Yang does a great job of introducing the obnoxious character of Chinky. I think first impressions on the character are very important, and Jin Yang couldn't have done it any better. The close-ups that the author, Jin Yang, Jin Yang, used was like the close-up of the angles of Chinky. Makes him stand out, and like you can kind of see like the stereotypes a little more closer, and you can see like he's the entire panel, and it takes up the entire page, and that's kind of like his expression.
I chose the same panel as Rob, so I guess just kind of what to add to that is when they first introduced Chinky, like I laughed, but then it's like I wasn't laughing entirely because of the panel, but also because like I was kind of shocked that the author was like making these like stereotypes present in the book, and like you couldn't believe that it had like his luggage was Chinese food boxes. It's kind of like what? So
yeah, I'm with James. The panel that stood out to me was on page 194. It was like a splash panel that showed Jin transforming into a white kid, like showing the different phase changes. And I thought it was significant because like the whole book, Jin wants to become something he's not, which is a white boy, and it finally happens to him there. I also noticed like the corners of that panel are kind of rounded off, kind of shaped like a cloud, and I feel like there's a deep meaning behind that.
I looked at page 124 when Amelia, I think, was telling Danny that, oh, you might have some kind of buck teeth kind of thing, and he's super embarrassed about it. And, like, that's preying on his, like, vulnerability. Like, that's his issue throughout the whole book of, like, oh, well, I'm the stereotype. Or, like, I don't want to be the stereotype, I want to be the white boy kind of thing, and it's being pointed out that maybe he's not. And then also underneath it all, there's, like, the ha-ha-ha underneath all the panels, like, oh, we're supposed to find it funny that she's pointing out that, oh, maybe you are like Chinky. And I thought this was an important part in the book because it shows that, like, there's always an issue with it when Chinky comes. Like, no one notices it before, but then they do.
I said the page I liked the most was page 223. And this is the one where the Monkey King tells Jin that he would have saved 500 years if he just realized that he is fine just being a monkey. And I didn't like it because of what it had on the page, like the illustrations. I liked the message more, and I think it was kind of one of the main messages of the book, that like no matter like trying to conform to how other people are and trying to change yourself to fit in just does not work, and just being who you are is probably the best way to go.
And I had the same one. I did 223 when he said that he would have saved 500 years, and like I agreed with everything she said. But I also did 213 where the Monkey King says to well at that point it's still Danny, but he says now it's time to reveal your true self, because it was after like Danny like hit the head off of the Monkey King, and so he saw that he wasn't actually Chinky. And I just thought that was interesting because it's like he was trying to like hide himself, like he was trying to like pretend he wasn't himself, if that makes sense.
My favorite panel was page 172, panel 2, because it was funny when Jen and Amelia were coming out of the movie and she had soap on her shoulders, because that wouldn't actually happen in real life, and it was just like exaggerated, and it showed close-ups because like Jen was like really worried, so it like showed like the close-up showed the worry on his face. Also like thought bubbles, because like he was thinking like what if she finds out, like he'll be really embarrassed.
I chose panel 3 on page 114, and that was where it was Chinky eating up the box of Rad Cat, and it kind of just stood out to me just because like the extreme of the stereotypes, but then also it had a close up of Danny and Chinky like showing how like they were together or like in like the same group almost, and then it had a long shot of like other kids like looking in on them, like kind of like showing how they were like being judged like as one almost.
I chose the panel on page 203, and it was a panel of like Chinky on the table in the library, and I kind of saw it as like Chinky like teaching Danny a lesson, and like kind of like saying like I'm gonna be who I am, like you're not gonna change me. I really liked like how the emanada was used. I think it helped convey the emotion. And it also like you could see in his facial expression that he was really happy and like he was just dancing and having a good time.
So my favorite page was on 105, because it's when Jim's asking Amelia to hang out, because it's like a turning point for him kind of almost in the story. Before he's kind of like, he has really no friends, but then it like, he gets confidence and he starts like, so things are kind of turning around for him. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Alright, so I did page 30, because I felt like the teacher like really started out like to show racism towards Jin Wang, and like it makes everybody feel like it's okay. I feel like that was like the turning point in his life, like that makes all the other kids to think like that the teacher do it so we could do it. So I feel like that was important. Alright,
so my favorite page was page 150, where the monkey like changed his true form and was released from the rocks. Because I don't know, I think it was a really cool page because it showed the way to his freedom was to be like his true self. And I really liked how she like used the Manada Namjin here, and you can hear like shrink. And then when he gets freed, he like brush himself off and he's like a new guy. That keeps on in his life.
Favorite 203 was also, that was like one of my favorite pages in the book. But the other one, let's see if I can find it here, was page 118, when like the third panel, I believe, I think, when he pees in the guy's Coke and then he like throws up or whatever. I thought this was one of my favorite pages just because it made me laugh a lot. I thought it was really funny. I know some people thought it was stupid, but I have an immature sense of humor, so I thought it was funny. And then they have I don't really know what you call the laughing at the bottom. It's sort of just like the laugh track. There's kind of an emanada-ish when he's throwing up and he says, "What's wrong with my Coke?" And then he's whispering, "Me Chinese, me play joke," and he go pee-pee in his Coke and he's whispering it to Danny. So I thought that was kind of funny, and it sort of shows that Shin-Ki is sort of acting this way on purpose just to get back at Danny for not being himself. So.
Another thing to add about the sequencing of the panels, I guess, is be categorized as the foreshadowing that he used with the Transformer in chapter 2 when he was playing with it as a little kid, kind of showed how he, or foreshadowed later in the book that he was a Transformer himself, or wanted to be, I guess.
I think that's an interesting observation.
Thanks.